Welcome to this Ask Earl Anything Mini, and this comes from a question I got about the song Drummer Man. And the question was, can I explain basically how I approached playing the song Drummer Man? At least that's what I'm taking from it, from the question. You can see the question on the screen. So let's talk about the song Drummer Man. Drummer Man was a song by Nancy Sinatra. It's a B cut, it's a rarity. I don't think they pressed a single. I really couldn't find a lot of information other than it was on an album that was called Rarities and B Cuts. It is something that Hal Blaine played with Nancy Sinatra. And that was pretty clear in the reason why I actually did the song. I did the song because I saw a clip on Facebook of Hal Blaine playing with Nancy Sinatra, probably in Vegas. And he had his big Hal Blaine monster kit. And if you know his Hal Blaine monster kit, it's 7 concert toms, 6, 8, 10, 12. Then he had a 13-inch tom and a 16-inch floor tom. And then he had a 13, 14, 15 concert tom. And they were wrapped around on these Klieg light stands that he brought in around the smaller kit. Now, the kit he was using, I believe, was a Ludwig's Blue Sparkle. That's usually the kit he had. And I believe it was 13/16 usually, and I believe it was usually a 22-inch kick, but he could have had a 20 that day. I don't really know. He usually used a superphonic snare drum. Sometimes it would be a 5x14 superphonic. Sometimes it was a 6.5x14 superphonic, depending on the day. Now, playing this track. So this is clearly a track that was done in the studio. It was clearly in a kind of a blues kind of format. It started with 4 bars up front. In the 3rd bar, the bass came in. And then in the 4th bar, for the next 4 bars, you have this guitar riff that kind of runs it in. And then it runs into the verse. And it was pretty much a verse-chorus format. It has a bridge section. But it's kind of blues-based, you know. It's a really cool riff. And it was clear that Nancy Sinatra wanted Hal to play more stuff. Now, I chose to do this lesson on the small kit, so what you're going to hear me playing when I play to this track, and I still haven't decided yet in this point if it's going to be a whole track or pieces of the instrumentation in the track or how I'm going to approach the mixing of it. But what you're going to hear is me playing on a smaller kit, because I think that's how you approach this song, is on a smaller kit. And the toms, the fill toms on the big kit were more of the show, you know what I mean? And Hal was known for playing a lot of those big fills on the big kit. And it's kind of interesting to watch him video playing live the song. It was different than the single, but it was similar. And that's the key thing. How do you approach a song like this that's got so much craziness going on around it? I believe there was a percussionist on it, and I believe there was a conga player percussionist, but I could be wrong. You know, he could have tracked it, he definitely overdubbed some drums. I'm pretty sure he overdubbed some drums. So there's a possibility he played a basic track, very similar to what I'm doing here on this 4-piece kit, and then put some big toms over top of it, keeping the basic kit as the groove. Now, it was played together in the studio. The click kind of moves a little bit, and it's a little funky sometimes. So kind of keeping with it, it's been a challenge. But the basics of this song is based on a floor tom, snare drum with the snares off, kick drum pattern. And it's basically the basic paradiddle pattern. So if I was to kind of break this song down, how you play it, it starts with this kind of a pattern. So it starts out on the floor tom, or one of the toms, and then it goes into, on the verse, the hi-hat. And then it goes back to the floor tom, and then it plays a lot of fills. And it's kind of a A-B, A-B. There's a C section, like a bridge. And then it breaks down into like a little drum thing, and then it comes back in. and then they come back for the last verse, chorus, A, B again, and then it stops, and then they have a big hold at the end, and it ends the song, outro. So the form of the song is pretty simple. It's pretty much blues-based. It's easy to follow. You know, counting the chords, 8 bars, 8 bars, 8 bars. You know, it's easy to kind of follow the phrasing of the tune. Let me say this. The song is a feature for Hal Blaine, and Hal played this live with Nancy Sinatra, probably in Las Vegas. I saw a clip of it on Facebook, and it inspired me to try it. Today, when I did this song, again, for this video, I approached it differently by playing it on a smaller kit. So it has less of the fills, but more of the groove pocket thing that I was going after. The song is really based on the floor tom and the snare drum without any snares on, and the kick drum. That's pretty much the tune. Occasionally a hi-hat and occasionally a sizzle cymbal. Hal used a sizzle cymbal. That was one of his things. I actually have a listing of Hal's equipment that Hal wrote me a letter back in the 90s when I lived in New Jersey. And I have the letter up on my wall. And the letter kind of talks about his 13-inch Zildjian hi-hats. And he had a sizzle cymbal. I don't know if it was 17-inch or what it was. He had a 16-inch crash, 20-inch ride, and then he had this sizzle cymbal that he used a lot. So this tune features the sizzle cymbal. And that's why when I did the song as a cover, I actually used this Armand ride, which is the Armand Beautiful Baby ride with the 3 sizzles, with my Paiste cymbals on the other kit. So basically, it is a paradiddle pattern played between the floor tom and your bass drum and your snare drum. And it's not very hard to play, and that's the basic groove. The hard thing is keeping up with the song and not getting ahead of it or behind it, especially when the track goes away and it's just Hal. And if you play it with just the click, like I did today, it's a little bit wonky sometimes to kind of find it when you come out of one of those sections. Now, there are a couple little breakdown figures, and today I think I played them better than I did on my original cover. But, because there's this, it breaks down, 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 da, 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 band, boom, tick a bat, do of a drummer man. So there's kind of like this little hesitation open, and there's a little drum thing, and then she comes in and kicks him back in of a drummer man. So you have to catch that. But truthfully, I saw a cover of this done with a couple playing, I don't know if she played keyboards or guitar, I can't remember, but they were doing the song, and the drummer was playing along, and I thought it was great. It was great. It was their thing on it. So it's actually a pretty simple song to play. The key is playing along with a track like Drummer Man from Nancy Sinatra from the 60s. You're going to get some movement in the tempo. That was just the way things were done. I don't know who the players were on this other than Hal. And if anybody does know that, please leave it in the comments. I'd really appreciate that. But that's my breakdown of it. I approached it as pretty much simply playing that paradiddle pattern and making it happen. So you tell me what you think of this version, which I'm going to stick at the end, and let's see if I get some reactions, because I'm going to cut. This is my explanation of playing Drummer Man for you all on Ask Earl Anything Mini. If you have any questions, your questions make the show. Without your questions, I don't have a show. So thank you for watching today, and leave your comments. Please like and subscribe, and have a great day.
Little baby, don't you cry. with a dream of a drummer man. He's a drummer man, that's what he is, and I love him so. And I clean his jeans and I dry his tears when the breaks don't come and it ain't no fun. He's my man and he's a real good drummer. It's a bummer when you got to play the nickel and the dime kind of job that don't pay enough to buy a can of beans. Chicken bones clean. Living with dreams of a drummer man. Child, it's tough, but your daddy is a dream of a drummer man.